Alright, y'all, before this episode kicks off, I got two favors. First favor, go to www.payforpickz. Picks is spelled with a Z at the end. Payforpickz.com. You register, go on ahead, get the weekly membership, put it in LaRue's room, all caps for the promo code, you get 100% off. 100% off. So you can really get to this bag and go crazy. And the second thing, go to my boy Joey Schaefer. Go to joeypickz on Instagram. Then get on his Discord. And what you do is from there you sign up for Chalkboard. Chalkboard right now, they got 100% match. So what that means is, if you deposit 10 or more, send a DM to Joey. Go to his Instagram. I'll put the Instagram in the description, so y'all can go ahead and get all his information. Send everything to him, and at that point he will literally cash up you $25. $25. So it's a win-win. You can't lose. And Joey Pickz is one of the best in the biz. So at the end of the day, you always gonna win. Appreciate y'all. What's good, MG?
What's going on, man?
Shit, man, I can't call it, man. It's been a busy day. Honestly,
Good Friday.
It is Good Friday. I've been actually waiting.
It isn't Friday yet, but it's been a good Friday.
It's been a good Friday. I've been waiting on this boxing episode though. So
yeah. Long overdue.
It's just a lot going on, man. And welcome, y'all. Welcome to LaRue's room. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good shit. So
talk shit in the comments, talk shit to us. Absolutely. If you see me on the street, talk shit to me.
Absolutely.
The type of boxing match.
And fan questions are definitely welcome, so don't hesitate. So we're gonna start this thing off by the video that we all seen last night. What was your thoughts, bro?
I'll intro it a little bit. The video in question that he's talking about is a little sparring session that happened years ago between Devin Haney and Tank Gervonta Davis. And my thoughts are, I mean, it's exactly what I thought it would have been at that time period. Tank is a little older than him, was giving him the work. I would say as of the last few years, Devin Haney has became a better fighter just from, the experience of it all. But he's fought some pretty good fighters in that time. So at 16, I wasn't expecting him to be able to go up against the Tank Davis.
I wasn't either, bro. I mean, at that point, I think Davis had already won a title. But even still, I guess, Haney was supposed to be that guy. Granted, you being that young, you can't expect too much.
Yeah. I'm not expecting him to go in there and, he did beat his ass. Simple and plain.
100%.
But, it wasn't it wasn't one of those videos that makes me think any differently of Devin Haney, other than saying that it didn't happen. I think that's the part, the Haney family kind of denying the claims.
Right.
That part that fucks with me because, if there's video of it, it's gonna get out. Somebody's gonna get it out.
Right.
There's no sense in lying about that shit. I know that's kind of a narrative in boxing that they just gotta, prove that they're invincible, but there was no reason to lie about that video. It was pretty much everything I'm sure everyone thought it would be. Everyone just needed the confirmation. Even AB was talking about it on, I think that was $1 Million Worth of Game, where he pretty much detailed what happened, even to the point where he jumped in the ring, and that was in the video as well.
Bro, he was spot on. And he said this multiple times. I think he said it $1 Million Worth of Game, like you said. Yeah. But he also said it on Fight Hype. He's done a lot of interviews on it to the point where I believed every word. He's not one to lie about anything. And I'm an AB fan, so
for sure.
Yeah, it was just exactly how he described it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what Haney's talking about as far as he got off too. I didn't see that part, so I can't go off of that.
Maybe we got a specific part of the video put out by an opponent of his. I don't know if he has the entire footage. Maybe there's another 10-minute, probably not 10 minutes, but a minute clip where he might have been getting off, maybe.
Bro,
we ain't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen what Floyd had a response. Floyd said that, he thinks Haney gave it to Garcia.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know, what he gains off of that. I don't know. It doesn't make
I mean,
sense.
selling the fight, I feel like they're at a spot now. I don't know if you saw the text that. I mean, this fight's just a shit show. I mean, we'll talk about it a little later, but I think that they're in a position now where they're trying to sell the fight, and by any means necessary, they got to drum up a little bit more controversy to sell out. Obviously, if it was sold out, we wouldn't be getting none of this shit.
That's a fact.
We'd be getting actual boxing news or training updates. The boring shit. We'd be getting the boring shit if the interesting shit was taken care of. Now, the interesting shit hasn't been taken care of yet, so they're trying to do all they can to make sure that they get asses in seats and people buying those pay-per-views.
So, and like even to piggyback off of what you said, so I looked on Ryan Garcia's. I think he maybe posted a story yesterday. So like he was texting his assistant or somebody and like saying like the prices of the tickets were too high.
Yeah,
like you seen that?
That's what I was bringing up. That's what I started to bring up, and that's kind of what I was getting at with they're doing everything they can. It's turning into like
WWE.
It's almost sad, but it's boxing. It's the business of boxing,
bro. But it shouldn't like at this point, bro. We got two great fighters, in my opinion. Like I think Ryan Garcia is still a great fighter, regardless of him losing the Tank. Like I don't care about that.
1.5
good fight. Regardless, like I, it's just one of those things, bro. Where like it'll sell itself. Just if I'm Devin Haney, get your dad involved and let him talk shit for you, like you normally do.
Yeah. Which I feel like trying to do, but I just don't see the punch. Like the it's not hitting the same.
It's
like
not. It's different.
Even the fight between him and Prograis, like that was hidden. Like that entire build up, everything masterful. Like that was a Bill Haney masterclass in selling a fight. I think that they probably didn't anticipate having to go this deep into it, given Ryan's social media following.
Right.
But I mean, you can only plan so far. They got into it, and now they're scrambling to try to make it seem as if this fight is more interesting than it potentially could be.
And that's a tough one, bro, because it's like you would think with the momentum that Haney has, man, like you want to see this fight because they're 3-3
in amateurs.
Yeah, in amateurs.
Yeah,
so
I think the 3 amateurs. And I mean, you could. I don't know nowadays because I feel like. I mean, we all know it. Ryan's on the wall. Boxing is on the ropes. No pun intended.
Facts.
And so anticipating that a fight is going to sell just because two people have a history. It's not like Spence Crawford. That's not you know what I mean. Like
right.
It's like that like even though they didn't have history in the ring, there was like a history of them building up the fight. This fight is kind of like it kind of felt like, oh yeah, he's around. I think we could fight him with Haney or with Garcia, and Garcia is going to take any check that's in front of him. So given in the right realm of possibility, it seems like he won't turn down a fight like this because it equals payday.
I got a question for you. I don't mean to cut you off, but do you think Haney and his team are really expecting like Tank to be like that next fight?
No, I don't think they have any intention on fighting Tank.
I don't think so either. That's why they moved to 140. But that's
I don't think that Shakur has any intention on fighting Tank. I don't think that Devin has any intention on fighting Tank. I think we get a Ryan Tank fight before we get a Tank versus one of the champions. I guess I don't want to say. I don't want to discredit Frank Martin. Frank Martin is he's pretty good fighter.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's I don't think he won his last fight. I do not think he won his last fight. Should have been a draw.
Bro, I'm right there with you. I don't think he won that fight. I don't think he won that fight at all. Like that should have been a draw.
And I don't know how close together that stuff was. That was a string of there was a string of fights around that time where Rolly got away scot-free. Frank
Mm-hmm.
Martin got scot-free with robbery with no mask. I mean, we could talk about Devin Haney potentially committed robbery with no mask
You
with
know how I feel about that one.
yeah, but there was a string where boxing judges were about the narrative, not about the fight. Not saying that isn't always the case or it's not the case, but there was a string where it was real blatant, and that's kind of that was like around that. I feel like they were all around like essentially like the same few months, and I was like, I
Bro,
get it, you got to build up your fighter, but shit.
bro, but I still think that is still the case because Tiafimo should not have won that. That should have been a draw, if anything.
Oh yeah, we just had that one as well. We just
Yeah.
had the TO debacle. Um,
To your
and you know he
point,
didn't.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna say he didn't. His opponent didn't throw as much, but that isn't any reason to discredit him. So it was.
I'm indifferent on that, bro. Like, cause me and you were texting. My whole thought was give him the draw because at that point, bro, like he's the champ. So like I can't just give you the belt off of a
Yeah,
performance like that. Even though you fought a
yeah,
great fight, like you
yeah,
boxed, but you didn't take the belt, in my opinion, from him. Who
yeah,
am I to say that? That's just how I feel.
yeah. He didn't do the phrase that always gets thrown around as you got to beat the champion. He did
Facts.
not do that at all. Especially in the later rounds, he kind of like coasted on it, kind of like Lomachenko. You know, there's cases of it where people just kind of get in a sense where they just think they have it.
Right.
And I mean, with what's been going on lately, you should know that that's not the fucking case unless you are the champion.
It's not happening.
Yeah, if you are the champion, then yeah, you can do that. You can dance around and potentially get that win. But you know, if you're fighting for the belt or you're not the top guy at that organization at the time, like say it be PPC or Top Rank, if you're not one of their stars or budding stars, they're not going to look out for you. The refs are not going to look out for you. They're building a narrative. You beating the top guy, it does not fit in that narrative, especially when you're trying to sell fights. The judges are not looking out for you.
That's a fact.
And it's sad as it may be, it's the
That's
business
how.
of boxing.
That's kind of how it should be, though, bro. Like until somebody can actually like fuck around and change it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah. And I get what they're doing. Like, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't understand it. Like, I understand the concept well. I mean, that's the business of it. Yeah, that's money. It's capitalism. That's the country. Like, it is a microcosm of the country. But I think that as a fan of the sport itself, sometimes it's tough to stomach.
mm-hmm.
Because you're just like, you know it, and you're like, damn, I just watched this entire fight and knew what was gonna happen. You know, and it's different than like watching an entire fight knowing someone's gonna get knocked out. But like watching an entire fight knowing that someone doesn't have to fight at all their best fight, not even their B game, not even their C game, and they could still come away with a lopsided scorecard and they don't even like split decision anymore. They're giving unanimous ones.
Unanimous
It's
for crazy.
it's nuts to deal with, and so I mean that's and I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. So
I mean, bro,
we're
I'm with you, and we are here. So, like
yeah
another issue that I have is us not getting Benavidez and Canelo. Like that's
yeah
huge. That's
yeah
huge.
yeah, and I feel for Benavidez because he genuinely seems like a guy that just wants to make the best fight.
He just want to fight.
So and having a goal, I almost think like, and I don't think it's not gonna lead. I don't think it's gonna lead to him being less hungry. But you could tell his whole entire build up to this moment. It's kind of like, in a sense, like Terrence Crawford and Earl, where it's like the build up is like, all right, collision course. He's gonna keep winning. He's gonna keep winning. We're gonna get it at some point, right? Granted, we got that fight 3 or 4 years after we were supposed to get it, but in this sense, it's like almost like not even like the fun aspect of like, yeah, well, maybe if he beats him, we might get that fight. It's like, yeah, we're shutting it down,
I don't
and
want it no more.
it's hell. And I mean, they said that he just put out he put out an offer, a last ditch offer that's like, hey, I think it was he'll take $5 million to fight him, is what he said.
Bro.
Canelo doesn't even care if you're taking the pay cut. Canelo is about, I mean, if we're being honest, he ducked Triple G till he was out of his prime. And this is kind of the same sentiment. It's like because he can't do the same thing with Benavidez, he just is avoiding him. So Canelo's going to continue collecting that payday. Benavidez is hopefully going to find another dancing partner that'll make his career not in vain, where you can still look back on the people he's fought.
So before we continue with that whole segment, I wanted to say one thing. So
Okay.
I believe people are gonna hate me for this. They're gonna hate me, but Canelo's taking the page out of Floyd's book. If you ask me,
I get that.
I mean, is it genius? Yeah, but is it kind of
Yeah.
like it's a slap in the face too? Because you can't say, "Oh, I'll fight anybody," but in reality, you
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, to be honest, there was a 4 or 5 year stretch where he was, it's same with Floyd, but there was a 4 or 5 year stretch. Like he fought Caleb Plant, which I mean, I didn't think that was ever gonna, like, not saying Caleb Plant's the end all be all, but I didn't think he was gonna step in the ring with Caleb Plant. I didn't think the Bivol fight was gonna happen. I thought he was content with just running that division and not picking up. So there's step, but he was in a win-win. It's like when you step up, if you lose, people are like you obviously you outkicked your coverage. You went up too high. But when you win, it's like, okay, it only adds to your legacy. Same reason why he said he didn't want to fight Terrence Crawford, because he understood Terrence Crawford can't lose in that situation. It's like, oh yeah, Terrence Crawford went up to 168 to fight Canelo after fighting 147.
And Canelo said it.
Yeah, so he knew what Terrence Crawford essentially had in mind as well, because he had just did it. So I think that in that there's instances where he kind of like is good at fooling the fans, and I mean Mexicans definitely ride for their fighters, rightfully so.
Heavily, absolutely.
And he is the guy.
Right.
So until that is not the case, he's going to be able to write his story and not anyone else.
So my question for you, with him leaving PBC, where do we go from here with Canelo? We'll go there first.
I think he just needs to be a free agent and take these one-offs. Might sign a deal here, might sign a deal there.
Like like how Terrence is doing right now?
Yeah, like how Terrence is doing. I think that at this point in his career, if he's not going to actually fight someone, that's like Munguia is. We had talked about this before the show, but yeah, it's getting closer. It hasn't been confirmed that he's going to be fighting Munguia in that Cinco de Mayo slot.
You said that's May 4th, right?
Yeah, May 4th. So like that Cinco de Mayo weekend. He usually fights Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Okay.
And so I mean Munguia is a great fighter. In terms of like hierarchy level, he's on the higher end for sure. It isn't the fight that everyone wants. It's better than the other fight that was announced, which was Berlanga at first. It's funny because they kind of announced that Berlanga was like the mandatory. He thought he was the mandatory for Canelo, and he's working towards being the mandatory for David Morrell instead.
Gosh. That's going to be even worse.
Exactly. So I don't think he wants. I think he knows he doesn't want that fight. The zone was very good at pulling the wool over his eyes about what his future is going to be, and I'm not surprised either because he seems kind of jaded by the whole fight experience anyway. He gets swept up in things pretty fast.
Right. I'll tell you one thing. Munguia, I mean, he destroyed John Ryder. Canelo, however, I think it took Canelo a little bit to get him out of there. So that might be a closer fight than what people think. It's
Yeah,
not 50-50.
I hope it is. I'm not gonna call it 50-50. I hope it's a closer fight than others are thinking it's gonna be. Munguia's on a good track right now, where he's had some pretty. He had a strong performance. The one before wasn't as strong, but he had strong performance. I was actually in Phoenix. I didn't get to go to that fight, which I'm sorry about. That was on me though. I was on the couch, so I didn't get to go. But yeah. I think that it's a good fight, not a great fight, given that if this David Benavidez stuff had already been settled, I'm cool with them fighting a Munguia. I'm okay with that. Like, say he beat David Benavidez, yeah, fight Munguia. Or say he lost, fight Munguia. Yeah, this is a good
Everybody's
fight.
to fight.
But and it's not like he's protect. I don't get the Canelo, Floyd blueprint, like, because or him doing that because he's not protecting the zero.
True, but he can't afford to take any more losses.
I agree. Well, yeah, after Bivol, yeah, but like after Bivol, you're like he's a legend. He's already a legend. It's like you can only hurt your resume at this point. I understand that. Like his resume is solidified, but then you start getting to like what's your bet. Who was his best win? And people will say Triple G, but I will say that Triple G was over the hill. But it does get to that point though. But I think that it's someone like Canelo where you can do no wrong in your people's eyes. Essentially, you shouldn't be too worried about protecting a record.
That's a good point.
So that's why I don't get his like whole entire his my bad, my cat's doing some wild shit. Anyway, I don't get his whole entire like game plan going forward. Like if you're gonna stay in the sport, be in the sport. Don't
tiptoe.
Tiptoe, move around, move out the way of certain people. If
It's
you're gonna
different.
be in it, yeah.
It's different, bro. Like I'm with you. Like don't. If you in, you in. Cool. Like you're getting older.
Yeah.
So like at this point, sign maybe a 3-fight deal and then call it quits. Call it a day. I don't know, bro.
And it's like he can't ride off into the sunset. He's not enough. He's not enough to be considered a legend.
But what has he got? 67 dubs or something like that.
He's done enough. That's why I'm like, if you're gonna be in it, be in it.
Yeah.
Don't don't just be halfway in for the money. If you are saying that you're doing it for a legacy, then for the money, it doesn't make sense.
Facts.
So, yeah.
I would say on this bullet point or topic, two things that we'll kind of finish up with, as far as the Benavidez and Canelo thing. So Benavidez is going to light heavyweight, right?
Yes.
So I believe he's going to get a belt quickly. I think his next fight will be for a belt. I don't know who's going to fight, but I think he'll fight Beterbiev and Bivol. It's been rumored.
The winner of that fight?
Yeah, it's been rumored. But I think it's legitimate because I don't think he's trying to waste time.
But do you think he should fight at that weight class before? I think he should take a fight at light heavy before he fights Bivol, the winner of Bivol Beterbiev, personally.
So I think he is. So I think he's gonna fight for a belt and then get one of those belts, that they have.
Yeah.
But I think he's a special talent. I don't know if he has to do all that. I don't know.
Yeah. He definitely, I'm sure in his mind, doesn't think so. If I was in the position where I want to take the winner of the two people that are, it should be a war. We'll see. Hopefully that's a war.
Yeah.
And in June, you realistically don't think they're going to fight again to the end of the year? Want the winner of that? It's March. So unless you're taking a fight at 168, then that might make sense. But I feel like if you're gonna take a fight, so you're not out of the ring for that long, you might as well go up and take a fight there before. Let the dust settle. I mean, you know, there's always the unknown, right? Say he gets hurt, say he loses, and it's not a draw anymore. But I mean, if he's the talent we all think he is, then he should just clean someone up to solidify that next fight should be the fight, and then then we get the fight between the two. So
I think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna. I don't know who he's gonna fight, but he's gonna fight somebody, and then it's gonna be one of those two. My only worry is that if it's Bivol, his footwork is great. It's elite.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be. It is definitely gonna be tough. But that's what we do it for, right? Like
right.
we want that. We want it to be a fight where we don't know the outcome. Not keep harping on the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight, but that was the last great fight that was truly a wild card. No one knew how it was going to be until fight day. Every fight after and seen is we kind of know what we're in for. So that would be a fight where we don't know.
Right.
I mean, Usyk Fury was moving towards that, but we don't even want to talk about that. But it was moving towards that. I haven't even seen Tyson Fury on social media, so hopefully he's doing
shape,
wrestling and staying in shape. But that's another story for another day. Fights that are actually being made, we could talk about those.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you though. But I don't know, bro. Like, better BF. I'm not saying that's an easier fight, but that's just a slugfest at the end of the day. Like, to me, like, who's gonna fold first? I don't see Benavidez folding first. I don't.
Yeah, Benavidez is a little older now. I think that fight, like you said, is more of a brawler style fight. I mean, that's not even a fight you really need to train for, other than just do some endurance training and weight training.
Right.
So if that was the case, then yeah. Like if that's the fight, then we're gonna just get a knockdown, drag out, old school brawl. But if it's Bivol, we're gonna get a little bit more technical of a fight. And last fight they tried to fight technical was Demetrius on him, but he was smaller. He was just naturally smaller, so it didn't really work.
Little man.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb playing fight was a little closer, but Caleb Plant.
You know how I feel about Caleb Plant, man. Like, if he fixes that gas tank, he's undefeated right now.
I don't know if he beats Canelo gas tank or not, but
you don't think so?
I don't think he would have beat Canelo that day. I don't think the gas tank was the problem. Canelo just kind of got in his groove towards the end, and it was a signature Canelo win. He was on that little streak thing. He beat the British guy before then.
Then he had Triple G after that, I'm pretty sure.
Was it the Caleb name? Or no, that was it was a dude with 3 names.
Fuck. I completely forget. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. It's all good. But he was on that little run, and that's when Canelo was actually
Billy Joe Saunders. I'm sorry.
Billy Joe Saunders. I know he had 3 names.
He was a dog, bro.
He was.
He
got eye snatch, but yeah, he was.
That eye socket was gone, huh?
Yeah, eye snatch. But that was that run. That's why I ain't gonna go the steroid route. Canelo definitely has been accused of some things. So,
hey, bro, that's a fact.
Right before the fight, he was really about his business.
That's a fact.
But yeah. But yeah, no, we could talk about fights that are actually in the pipeline. One in particular being that Tank and Frank Martin fight. That it should be in the pipeline.
I think, what is that? I think I heard June 8th for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think that's a day I heard floated around. I'm not sure if they. I mean, granted, we don't get it. I'm not gonna say anything until we get that poster on the IG.
Facts.
Both them niggas is tagged. That's the only time I'm gonna say when a fight, is confirmed. I'm not taking no more verbal confirmation.
Fact. Hey, PBC better come out with it before anything.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
With that fight, who you got?
Yeah. Tank. I got Tank. I think it's Tank by
Obvious.
stopping. You know, the original. You know, his 3-piece extra crispy. It's his tried and true. It's his box combo. It's his, you know, it's his Big Mac. We know what's coming down the pipeline.
His drink of choice.
Yeah, he's gonna get, you know, 3 or 4 rounds to where we're like, damn, is this about to happen? And then we get to him settling in, and then he stops it, and the fight is done by stoppage. Frank Martin is a good fighter though.
He's talented.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. I don't think it's any knock on him. But if Derek James is in that corner,
bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
Derek James is in that corner on fight night on June 8th of 8.
He's had a bad year. 2023 could be forgotten.
How do you work? He got Ryan. He's training Ryan. It's about to get worse.
I don't know if he can fix Ryan, but he can maybe discipline him a little bit.
He's going to be in this. I seen him at the press conference. He's going to be he's in his corner for the Haney fight. He collecting a check.
He's collecting the check. And
then he rested on his laurels. Granted, his fighters had to essentially step it up after that. It was the time for his fighters to start fighting actual comp.
I mean, bro, like, you got to start preparing for life without Errol Spence. As much as I love Errol Spence, he's not getting any younger.
Or sorry, the Canelo. The Charlo. Life without the Charlos. Life without Errol Spence. Life without any fighter other than Frank Martin. And he's gonna be damn, he's doing Anthony Joshua too, right? Is he still doing Anthony Joshua?
I don't think he's doing Anthony Joshua this fight.
Okay.
Nope. Anthony Joshua went back to his old trainer for this fight. Actually, for probably the remainder of his career.
Yeah, because he saw them L's piling up on that record.
Fact.
But he was in Joshua's corner for the when they were that was the doubleheader that they were trying to set up for Wilder and Joshua. I'm trying to remember who he fought.
I don't think he was. It wasn't really? Derek James. It was his old trainer. Because I think it was reported that he was going to be with Derek James after that fight, basically for this upcoming fight, but he just stayed where he was at.
I get it.
I do too.
I get it. So, kudos to him. That fight's coming up soon, so we'll talk about that when it happens.
Next week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next week. Pretty sure it's next week, but
we'll definitely drop that preview. That'll be nice.
For sure. I'm looking forward to that one. Just from the aspect of seeing Joshua back in the ring. Ngannou is he's a tough cookie, so I don't see him, folding. I think he'll get outboxed. We'll talk about that when it gets to it.
Sure.
Yeah, Frank Martin and Tank. What are your thoughts?
First thing, Tank don't get the respect he needs, in my opinion. I think Tank is the face of boxing, first off.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's close because who do we get the most views, pay-per-view buys with and views? Tank.
No, I
what I mean? So,
yeah.
And I think this is a great fight, though. Like, I think this is honestly the one that I was looking for. It's something that me and you talked about, but I just think it made the most sense because it's all PBC. So it's an easy fight to make. I think if Frank Martin had better comp leading up into this fight, it'd be 50-50. Not even so 50-50 on paper, but in my heart, I'm 100% Tank.
Yeah,
I'm riding with Tank on every fight. Tank could be fighting Canelo tomorrow. I'm going Team Tank.
I ain't gonna go too crazy. I think that with me, it's like we're getting with the face of boxing talk. Like it was Canelo, I would say, for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
After the Floyd era, and I mean, I don't want to say it was Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's up there though, but I think that
Tyson Fury was up there.
I feel like the king of the heavyweight division is usually the king.
Usually. Whoa. Well,
usually that's the draw. Usually the heavyweight in the past is the biggest draw. There was the Four King era where it was not that the case, but I feel like Tyson on up, it was heavyweight.
You being a Lennox Lewis fan, I get it. I get it. I get it. But I
Yeah.
don't. We haven't had heavyweight hasn't been that for what 15, 20 years.
It's I don't know. I was gonna say Floyd. I mean, it was heavyweight. Then it was Floyd. Floyd left. Well, it was Mike Tyson ish, and then it was we had a random assortment of heavyweights. Then Floyd came around, and then it was Floyd, and then up until I think Floyd retired 2015, 2016. I know that's well, I mean technically retired. He's still his last
Exhibitions.
official fights were like 2016 ish, 2017 ish.
Right.
But outside of that, I think usually, in my lifetime, even though the Floyd era was a big era, if you're that good in the heavyweight division, you have the runway to be the king of boxing. Not saying that like Tyson Fury is the most entertaining boxer. I'll say it like that. All his fights were entertaining. Wilder, well, I will say he was entertaining leading up to the fights. Fight itself might not be entertaining, but you knew you were getting theatrics that were entertaining.
Yeah.
I would argue the Wilder Fury trilogy was the best trilogy in boxing, or the best thing in boxing for the last 9 or 10 years. I mean, granted it was a beatdown, but Spence Crawford, but like most entertaining fights in the last 10 years.
And the thing is, I shake my head because you're right, but just me knowing that like Wilder just can't fucking box or chooses not to box. He's looking for that one punch. It irritates me. It irritates me.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting with Fury, bro. Like, you know what you're getting. You got to do more than just knock him down. Get him out of there at that point. But it's not what you're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And I get that for sure. And I'm definitely going ahead of myself. It seems like, the handoff essentially was Floyd to Canelo, essentially. So, I mean, it stayed in that little range of it not being a heavyweight for a very long time.
right.
He just didn't have any interesting fights. And except, the Bivol fight was only interesting because he took the leap. The Triple G saga was interesting, but that was years and years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of just, it's for Tank to take, but Tank's got to take it. I mean, he is it, but like, damn, man, like we got to get some sort of like, for us calling him the king of boxing, we got to get some sort of validation with a good fight.
I think part of that is PBC's fault, if you ask me. But I mean, he was locked up for maybe a month or two, so that might have kind of put a ding in some of the plans that he had. But for me, I think his coming out party. I mean, shit, bro. You can go all the way back to Pedraza, but like I think the face of boxing, that pay-per-view against the fight that she was at Leah Santa Cruz. I think at that point, bro, that torch might have been passed for me.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely one of those that was like, if you talk about Tank moments, sadly, and that was 2020, so about 4 years ago, or 2021 maybe. That might have been
2020.
October 2020.
COVID.
Yeah, it was a Halloween weekend 2020.
Yep.
And that's his moment. I mean, him fighting with just one hand versus Pitbull was a moment. But more for Pitbull than it was for Tank.
Do you want to see part 2 of that? I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you want to see a second fight? I don't.
He hasn't had a fight that I need to see a second of.
None of it.
He has not fought someone where I need to see him fight them again. And I'm not saying that's just like a thing that happens in boxing often. I mean, we got lucky with the Fury and Deontay Wilder where people wanted to see it again. And I mean, obviously people wanted to see Earl versus Terrence again, but it's very rare in boxing we get those. Like even Bivol, Canelo, nobody wants to see that again. It's just rare that you get a fight that you are genuinely interested in seeing 2 of. So no, that definitely isn't on the list of fights that we want to see. I think that was just gonna be a stay busy fight anyway.
Stay busy, and then on top of that, bro, like if I was Tank, I'd take it and then back out, just because, like, bro, like I can't get up for this. Like
What? I don't know how he's getting up for any of these fights. I mean, yeah, the Ryan fight was a lot of build up for sure. It was a lot of social media build up for that fight, but it didn't live up to the hype, obviously for obvious reasons. But like, I just want a legitimate, really good fight that I'm looking forward to from someone that we call the face of boxing.
this is it.
It live up to the fight. Well, I mean, it could be. It could be. I'm gonna say it could be. I'm not saying it's not gonna be. I'm just gonna say it could be.
I personal opinion, like I think this is gonna have fireworks written all over it. Like I think it's gonna be a very exciting fight. First round's gonna be boring, but after that, bro, like it's just gonna be a chess match. But
yeah,
it's something that Tank does. Tank will he'll download this information for 2 or 3 rounds, and then after that, bro, like he's walking you down, whether you like it or not.
I agree, and I don't think Frank Martin has been in a position to where he's had like he's a very good technical fighter, but it's a different animal, obviously, when you're going against Tank. But I just don't see him putting together a fight that isn't more than him just waiting for Tank to figure him out. And trying to avoid that happening is probably his best thing, but that involves showing 3 different looks that you probably have never seen, like, showed before.
Agreed.
And I'm not saying he can't do it. Like, Terrence fought southpaw the entire fight. Nobody thought he was going to do that. But, like, I don't see Frank Martin in that same realm, obviously. But that's what you got to do to beat a Tank Davis. You got to fight. You got to get him uncomfortable.
He don't have a choice, bro. Like Frank Martin, like doesn't have a choice. Like right now, with the way 135 looks, you either got Frank Martin, Tank, or Shakur.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think at this point, this is a tune-up for Shakur.
I
know you don't think we get it, but I just
that ring, man.
Huh?
Shakur ain't stepping in that ring, man.
You don't think so?
Hell no. He ain't stepping in there.
Loma?
Give us he's so old now. Give us Tio. Give us Tio. Give us Tank Tio.
Tank would be a great fight.
Give us Tank Tio if you're gonna give us anything. That's how I feel about that. I know Tio was talking about Terrence Crawford. Why don't you fight Tank?
Bro, I think Tio gets dropped first off.
So that's the thing. When Tio gets up for a fight, it's when Tio is motivated, he's scary. But Tank is always scary. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, I don't know. You own to something. It could be 50-50.
I think that's if we were going to make a fight out of people that I think is actually feasible, because Tio doesn't care. I think Tio will get in the ring with anyone. Even though he didn't fight that. It's politics. That Devin Haney world champion he used to call him and all that. So I don't know. They've had internal beef anyway. But that's the dad-son combination beef that you usually get with those type of fighters. So with dad trainer, son, fighter beefs. But yeah, I think that Tio would be up for the challenge if it kind of gets zeroed in to that is the fight that could be made. But I think that as a draw, like if people were like, drawn to that fight, if Tio would have never lost to Kambosos, then it'd be a really big fight.
Right.
I'm not saying it'd be a really big fight, but that was the only downside of it being like the clear-cut biggest fight that could be made. And I mean, he's had some good wins, impressive wins since then.
Bro, and a stinker. Yeah.
And a stinker. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We'll see.
But
yeah.
The way I feel about it, bro, like with Teofimo, he's not a draw. Like he hasn't had a pay-per-view fight at all. First off, not one. So like,
which I'm okay with.
I'm okay with it too. I'm okay with it too. But like, him to take a Tank fight would be his biggest payday by far.
Yeah,
and it's not even close.
Everybody's biggest payday.
That's a fact. But like, people want to talk about Devin Haney this, Devin Haney that. Devin Haney's not the face of boxing, bro. Like,
no, and I don't think he is either. I don't think he. I'll tell you what though, he's building one of the more impressive resumes by actually fighting people.
Bro,
I'll say that.
I still give Tank. Tank might have the better resume. Last 10 fights.
So if Devin beats Ryan, who is essentially Tank's best win,
you think that's Tank's best win?
By let's just say by hype standards.
Okay, fair.
That's probably his best win. He went up. He went and got the belts from the person that beat Tio. Granted, that person should never beat Tio. He beat Loma, albeit controversial, but he beat Loma, who would have been Tio's biggest win, right?
Fair.
So if he's beaten Tio's biggest win, and at that point Gervonta Davis's biggest win, he had, I would say he's putting together. He's definitely crafted his career to this point in a way where he's in the right place at the right time. He's a pretty good right place, right time fighter, essentially.
I agree with that, but I think the equalizer for me, if he were to beat Mario Barrios in the next 2 or 3 fights, if he like beats the shit out of Mario, which I don't think he would, then he might have a better resume.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
No, I think it's coming within the next 2 or 3 fights. I really do. Yeah. I think that's coming. But I still think that what Tank has done is far more impressive in the way he's done it. I'm not saying Rolly was like a great fight, but
Rolly's a good puncher.
Rolly's a good puncher. Rolly's a good puncher, very aggressive, but he also has a belt at 140. So
crazy.
Take that into consideration. And then him going up to go get the belt against Mario Barrios, I think that was extremely impressive because Mario Barrios was undefeated at that point. A straight dog. Straight dog.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Mario Barrios or it being an impressive win for Tank. I think, I think that it isn't more so it not being like a good opponent. I just think that when you like circle back to like names and like you know what I mean, like for the business of boxing side, it's like you look at the resume and he's like a circle the wagon guy. It's almost like very calculated where he's like, I'm gonna beat everybody that you beat more impressively now that I have the blueprint. And once I do that, if you want to fight me and I beat you, then it's undeniable. But you have to prove it now because everyone's gonna be like, well, he beat the same people. So
true.
It's almost like a one-up type of thing. It's like I beat this person too. I beat this person too. There's no way you could say you're better than me until you fight me, essentially.
I'll give you that.
So, and so if he's collecting those, plus, like I said, going up to get it, like he went up. Granted, he's getting older, so his body is, maturing to getting older and moving up for weight classes. It isn't like a out of the realm thing. I'm sure it was hard making 135. So
you're talking about Tank, right? Or are you talking about Devin Haney?
I'm talking about Devin.
Devin, yeah, I agree.
Tank is small. Tank could make 135 probably his whole career.
He could probably make 130 low key and get a belt. For a quick minute.
Yeah. But until there's a good prospect or someone that's interesting. Speaking of prospects, that's something else I forgot to bring up. But we were talking about on the last show. I think it was the last show about Big Baby Anderson.
Yes, we were.
He had a fight. He has a fight coming up, or I don't know if it's still coming up because he got arrested.
What did he get arrested for?
I have to look it up because that happened like either today or yesterday. Let me see. Jared Anderson.
I seen who he was fighting too. He's fighting a guy that's coming up in weight. So
Yeah, it wasn't going to be a good fight anyway.
no.
But he, let me see if I can find it.
Come on, Jared. Stay out of
Really
trouble,
fast.
bro. You a dog for real. Stop putting yourself in harm's
Yeah,
way.
he got it for. It's on ESPN yesterday. A warrant for obstructing police. I
Come
don't know
on,
exactly what
Jared.
that means. I don't want to be
Easy.
chatty, but apparently he was fine and got a 1-8. Okay, hold on, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just he had a warrant out. I don't know if that. It seems like it's not gonna affect the fight. I hope it doesn't affect the fight coming
Right.
up.
Right.
Because it's rather soon. He's fighting. Well, it's in about a month. I think April 13th is the fight.
Okay.
But I hope it. I hope it doesn't really throw things off. He got to stay out of trouble. He's somebody that's a great prospect, but he's got to stay out of trouble.
Bro. Hey, give me your top 3 prospects right now.
Prospects?
It don't matter the weight class.
Abdullah, Mason Abdullah,
Mason,
is that the boy
Abdullah
name?
Mason.
Abdul Mason, sorry. Abdul Mason.
Abdullah, I'm sorry.
Abdul Mason, probably the top one for me.
He's the top one for you?
Yeah, he's probably the top one. That boy cold.
Bro, cold.
That boy cold.
He can go in the belt right now.
Anderson, I know. Anderson was up there. I mean, he's still up there.
I don't consider him a prospect, bro.
I was gonna say, I think he kind of shed the title of prospect within the last 2 years.
Contender.
But if it's not him, It's a good question. I'll let you go. We'll go 1 for 1.
Well, I mean, Abdullah's 1 for me, but I can go a different route. Bruce Carrington?
Shushu? Yeah. Shushu's a great fighter.
He's
Great fighter.
He's on the fence though when it comes to prospect because he fights like a veteran, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he fall in the same realm as Jared Anderson, where is he still that though? Like, is he still a prospect?
I think he's still considered a prospect. I was gonna say, what is my guy's name from Puerto Rico? You know what I'm talking about. Middleweight. No, is he a middleweight? He's a middleweight. Zayas.
Oh, Xander?
Xander's, yeah.
I feel like he's in that. So he was in that crop with. So he came in with that crop of Jared Anderson, Keyshawn Davis, Xander Zayas.
He's a dog, bro. He'd be number 1 for me.
Yeah, who else was in that crop? Like, I feel like you lumped them all in the same like class essentially, because it was they pretty much, because Xander and Edgar Berlanga, when Berlanga was at top rank, were fighting on all the same fight cards. Because they're both Puerto Rican, right. And they were fighting on the same fight cards. Xander Zayas was the better fighter, but Edgar Berlanga was not getting out of the first round at the time. So it was just he had got a little more, you know what I mean? But they were pretty much always lumped. Like, to me, those 4 were kind of lumped together in like top rank class. Because I would always see them fighting essentially on the same card, and then they'd have like someone like Tio or something on or Shakur like on the card, like as the draw, or Lomachenko or what have you. So it's like, if we're putting them all on the same thing, yeah, Xander. I think then you kind of got to look at it like Xander and shoot. Well, Shushu's younger than them, so it'd be Shushu and Abdullah.
What about Keyshawn Davis? Is he a prospect still? I feel like he is, but he's working his way out.
With the other ones, I was just saying, man, Keyshawn should start. I thought him and Frank Martin was going to be the better fight. I thought that was going to be the fight.
50-50.
And they were talking about that before everything kind of broke down, but it was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be him and Frank Martin. They was talking shit to each other.
I like that fight better.
I was looking forward to it. I think that would have been a pretty good fight. But yeah, I like Keyshawn Davis. I think he's a really good fighter. I think that he is in that lull where the rest of those four that I said are you either shit or get off the pot. Like your name isn't as hot as it can be, but you're at the tipping point now where Tio was, where you got to have that Lomachenko fight where it's like, all right, you have arrived, or you're gonna be another side.
And this is why I say I think Teofimo and Keyshawn Davis should fight each other, because the winner should stay at top ranked and the loser should go ahead and just bounce.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, that's Top Rank's best fight to be made.
That's the best fight, bro.
That's their best fight to be made. Not only at that weight class, but just in general, like for Top Rank. That's the best fight that they can construct between their fighters, and I think that they should do that. I mean, Top Rank has a history of not doing what makes the most sense. So, do I see it happening? No. Do I hope it happens? Absolutely. But, yeah, it's. I try not to get my hopes up with Top Rank. I try not to get my hopes up with fights being made, but Top Rank is the one that always, for some reason, has the problem with making the fight that makes the most sense with their fighters.
Speaking of
when they made Lomachenko, I think they mistakenly made the Lomachenko and Teofimo fight. Like, I'm sure in their eyes they mistakenly made that fight because they thought it was going to be a Lomachenko masterclass. But yeah, okay. So they Cambosa's fight. I'm sure they're upset when they made that fight. So
if he was healthy, he would have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, but we that's the thing on boxing, right?
You say that about anybody.
It's day of. We gotta only judge it on day of, unless they fight again.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't happen as much as it used to, where that mandatory was activated. That clause used to be always activated. We used to always get that rematch. Facts. If there was any sort of questionable decision or anything, we used to get that rematch, but not as much anymore. So
facts.
So I can't act like an asshole. Yeah, chill out. Anyway,
you funny. Hey, I'm gonna round out my prospects real quick.
Okay.
I know you gotta get to to the Yao Ming, but my top three right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take out Xander. Love Xander. I'm gonna go Shushu.
Okay.
Tiger Johnson. Hey Tiger, if you see this, bro, gotta have you on. On, bro.
Yeah, I fuck with Tiger Johnson for sure.
Fuck with Tiger.
Yeah.
In the third, bro, I'm not gonna go Isley. I'm not going to him. What about that heavyweight? White dude.
Zhang?
Nah, young dude. He got the mustache. He was on Team USA.
Oh.
Top rank.
Damn. Isn't it crazy how they just the Olympic pipeline though? Like you just go to Olympics, now you're in top rank.
Every time, bro.
Olympic medal it comes with a top rank contract. Like when you hold up the medal and you get off the podium, you have a top rank contract waiting for you. It's crazy.
Bro, you know what, bro? Forget it. I'm gonna go to PBC. Let me go back to PBC. Let me go to where I love PBC. I'm a PBC guy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Kermel.
Okay.
He'll round out my third.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. What about what was it Jesse Bam Rodriguez dude? You fuck with him?
Bro, Bam, I love you. Bam. Yeah, you him. But he ain't no prospect.
You don't think so?
Bro, he's a champion.
Yeah.
He's got what? He's got all the belts right now, I think.
Is that true?
I think he's got almost all of them, bro.
Oh yeah, for flyweight, yeah, he got the flyweight belts. He's just so young. It's like, damn, I can't.
bro.
It's hard to, yeah,
Glass.
yeah.
When I
Okay.
tell you, bro, when I first watched him, it was maybe 2 years ago, and
Mm,
like he wasn't supposed to win the fight. Like at least on paper, he wasn't. Bro, he came
yeah,
in and took it. Like just straight dog. And bro, after
yeah,
that, I followed him on all social media, keeping
yeah,
up on all
yeah.
his fights. Bro, he's just a
Past
dog.
I guess he's past the prospect. I think it's just like it's hard to just differentiate because all these young fighters, it's hard to differentiate prospect, contender. I'm just like young. It's almost like damn near it's like a 22-year-olds that are going crazy right now because I think he's only like 23.
Bro,
So
super young. He's bro. I don't get me started on him, bro.
Brandon Lee's pretty good.
I'll
Little
give you
Asian.
that.
Home.
I
I
honestly,
ain't mean to discriminate though. I ain't mean to like that.
nah, you good, no, but honestly, Brandon Lee, what is bro? He might have over 20 wins. I think he's like 28-0.
But he a youngin, so that shit's throwing me off.
So all right, so we should do this. Moving forward in the future, prospect for us is gonna be 13 fights and less. Fair?
Okay, okay. We'll come back with that list.
We'll come back
We'll
with.
come
We'll be better prepared next episode for
yeah,
sure,
for
and
sure.
which is
Yeah.
next Friday, y'all. Um, last preview that we have before we get into the fight cards for this weekend. Devin Haney, Ryan
Mhm.
Garcia. We kind of already touched on it. I'm starting not to get excited, but I don't know what to expect, bro. I don't know what to think. I don't know if Ryan's focused. I don't know.
Locked in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if anything, bro, like with the video, if this video was solely Ryan to release it, like if it was just his idea, he might have woke Devin Haney up. So I think
Mhm.
he could get punished, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really care anymore at this point.
No, I agree. I think they just. I think on the Haney side, they just want to get to the finish line and actually get to the fight. On the
Mm-hmm.
Ryan side, it seems like they're just trying to hold it together. It's too much shit going on, man. And I mean, that's kind of what happens when your promoters Oscar De La Hoya and fucking Bernard Hopkins. But I think that it's just it's a tale of two different trajectories. It's like Ryan Garcia is fighting to stay in the sport, and Devin Haney's fighting to become one of the guys of the sport. And I think that it usually pans out how you think it's going to pan out in those situations. Like,
Right.
I don't think that Devin Haney doesn't never has strike me as a person that'll underprepare for a fight. Ryan Garcia has notoriously underprepared for a fight. So it's hard for me to get excited about it just from looking at the facts. I know the names make you excited about a fight sometimes, but just looking at it on paper, you gotta go with your head. It's hard to go with your heart in these situations. You just gotta look at it and you look at their last two performances.
Right.
Granted, Devin Haney might have got away with one with Lomachenko,
He
but
lost.
that didn't mean that he didn't have a good fight. I mean, he just
I
was fighting a tough fighter and got away with one.
I think Lomachenko was the better man that night. I think they
Yeah,
both fought a great fight, but
yeah. Like he's not of the a category of fights we're talking about where the fighter had a shitty night and still won the fight. He had a good night. Lomachenko had a great night. Lomachenko didn't win.
right.
Ryan Garcia is not in that category. Ryan
No.
Garcia is. I mean, he won his last fight, but I mean, no one's convincing themselves that after that fight you think he's ready for the Tank Davises, the Devin Haney's of the world, and then he gets the fight. So once he gets the fight, you're like, okay, yes, social media following, draw, yes, he's gonna bring in the money. All those
Yeah.
things are well and fine until you have to get in the fucking ring. So
Until you got to prove it.
yeah, Devin I don't know if Devin stops him, but Devin wins this fight handily.
Um, I'll say one thing as far as I mean, you said everything that I was gonna say, but I would say the last fight for Ryan might have been one of his better knockouts because the guy's a puncher. The guy was
Yeah.
a puncher. Like, and Devin was eating, or Ryan was eating some shots. He was eating some
Yeah.
shots, and that
Yeah.
shoulder roll was absolute fucking garbage. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I think Ryan went into deep waters. I think his fight with Tank might have actually prepared him for that fight and got him over that hump. But
Mm-hmm.
this fight it's maybe a six or maybe 65-35 fight, but
Okay.
I'm still giving Ryan that puncher's chance. Only reason why I'm giving him the puncher's chance is because one, he has power.
Mm-hmm.
He's fast, but
Yeah.
they have a history that like goes deep. Like
Yeah.
it might even be family hate at this point, bro. Like I just think
Amateurs, man. It's the
yeah,
amateurs.
yeah.
It ain't. You know what I mean, it wasn't the amateur. Granted, they had wars. They had wars in the amateurs, but man, then you got to start. Someone has to take those steps to become more than just an amateur. Not saying Ryan didn't, but it's clear that the progression in Haney's career is way greater than the progression in Ryan's career as far as boxing ability.
I agree.
So that's where I land with that one.
Well, I would say, bro, from this point, I'm over it. I'm over Devin
Yeah,
Haney and Ryan. Let's hit
yeah,
these fight cards, man, and we'll go on about our
yeah,
night.
yeah, for sure.
Um, ESPN.
It's a pretty light card.
It's a
Pretty
light
light.
card. It's a light card. I guess we can kind of go over like some of the notable names, like Nicole Ali Wash. He's fighting.
Yeah,
He's fighting. Raymond
yeah.
Ford. I thought Raymond Ford was a part of the Zone.
Maybe he switched up as of late.
Maybe we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
Um,
I can't believe Nico Ali Walsh is still making cards.
what's your thoughts on him? I think he's a pretty decent fighter.
I think they didn't let him they didn't let him progress naturally. They tried to make him the guy after 2 fights.
A draw because of the name.
Yeah, and I think they should have let him progress naturally. It kind of stunted his growth in a way. Kind of like how I feel about Berlanga as well.
Low key.
He kind of had so it's like you almost got to like um, basically tear everything down and start back from scratch. And I think that's where he is in a position where if he's gonna like I'm interested to see where he goes now, but they kind of tore him down. It was like they wanted him to be the guy, but like he wasn't even remotely ready to be the guy.
No.
So as a result, you get what we had, which is almost like a short career that is like in itself like a career. This is like almost like he's going on a second career damn near where he has to like build it back up again.
He can't lose again, bro.
Yeah.
He can't
Yeah.
lose.
Right. Exactly.
I think he beats his opponent. I mean,
Yeah. They're gonna make sure of it.
right. That's funny as fuck. Troy Isley, he's ranked 29th in his weight class.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna maybe try to elevate him a little bit and speed up the process. I think
Yeah.
Top Rank needs like a star, not even a star, but they need something else. Like they need another big name in a different weight class. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe they,
All their stars are ready to leave,
yeah. And bro, like,
except Jared Anderson.
and that was my point about them all being so young and maybe just parting ways with Tio. Like, bro, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many young fighters at Top Rank. I think they're trying to
Yeah.
phase out like the Tos and Navarrete. Nah, he'll probably stay. Oscar Valdez, bro, he
Yeah.
should be with PBC.
I
Um,
think so.
but I got Troy Isley winning.
Yeah, for sure.
then Raymond Ford, his opponent. I got Raymond Ford winning, and that main.
I don't think we get too many upsets on that ESPN card.
I don't think so either, bro. It's not even entertaining to say the least. But
Yeah.
Luis Lopez and what is that? Ray Abe.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4, number 5 in their division. I'll go Lopez, but I'm
Yeah.
mainly kind of.
I don't see any upsets. I don't see.
I'm
As a
with you.
betting man, probably get all the favorites off, and it'd be that's the end of your night, pretty much.
I'm
So
with you. I'm with you. Let's
about
go to
that.
the zone, bro.
A few notable names on there.
A few
Amanda
notable.
Serrano being one of them.
She's one of my favorites, by the way, too.
Yeah, she's a brawler. She's a brawler for sure.
No defense.
Yeah, no defense, straight brawler. Um, you kind of know what you're gonna get. Her fights are always entertaining as a result. So if nothing else, if you've never checked her out, it's a good fighter to check out if you're just interested as a casual, and just want to see a knockdown drag out fight. She's very good for those.
She'll finish you in a heartbeat too if she's got the energy.
Yeah, that's why they keep her around. That's pretty much why they keep her around on the cards. It'll always be a draw.
Right.
Her energy and the way she approaches fights.
Jake Paul is ranked 132, so he fights Ryan Borland. I think he's tailor made to beat Ryan. At this point, bro, like Jake Paul's he's probably gonna be a favorite the next 3 or 4 fights. It's okay.
They're not gonna do what they did before and risk him fighting someone that could potentially beat him like a Fury again. And it's they understand it was one of those situations where he was flying too high, and now they kind of got a understanding of his talent level,
right?
And where he should stay, what range he should stay in, and how to tailor his career around that range,
right?
And that's what we're gonna get until he either proves that he's out of that range, or he just is done fighting whenever he's bored with it. So
I agree.
That's my assessment situation.
Nonetheless, I think these fight cards are kind of ass. Outside of Amanda Serrano.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump right into it. AB is back, May 31st. I'm super excited. He looks good. I know AB doesn't have a lot of fans out there, but AB, if you're watching, always gonna be a fan, big dog. I think you are one of the GOATs, depending on how you look at it. Never ducked anybody, and you him. So at the end of the day, bro, I'm always gonna be a supporter. Just hope you continue to stay focused, man, and do what you got to do. You're 8 in the WBA right now, welterweight division. So he's got a chance to win a belt. I think right now is a perfect time to do it at 147 because 147 is dwindling.
Empty.
It's empty, bro.
Outside of Boots, it's empty.
Outside of Boots, it's empty because I think Stanionis is going to move up to 154.
Yeah, I do.
So
yeah, this is a perfect striking range for someone trying to get back. Granted, that Boots fight is the Boots fight, but if Crawford vacates the belts, I'm not sure if they just go. I'm sure they kind of split up, so he might be able to fight for a vacant after this fight if he has a good showing. So that's important.
Yeah.
So he hopefully gets the job done and can kind of start the back half of his career. Hopefully it can land in a belt. Like I said, with everything potentially being vacant after Terrence Crawford vacates when he goes up a weight class, I don't know. It kind of sets it up for that.
Right. And yeah, man, I support him. I can't wait to see him. I'm sure he's gonna get a pretty decent name. Maybe another tune-up before he gets an actual title fight, but
I see tune-up in this future. I just hope it's not another lawyer. But yeah, tune-up in this future.
Hey, man, you put them gloves on, bro. Hey, you a fighter.
You're a professional sanctioned fighter and you are out there on fight night, then you're expected to do exactly what a professional fighter would do. Win, lose, or draw.
Hey, bro, crazy thing is, I bought that pay-per-view for my birthday. Like, that was my birthday gift last year.
That's dedication, man.
Dedication, bro.
I definitely pirated that fight. I don't pirate a lot of fights, but I definitely pirated that one. I'm sorry. I found out the opponent. No disrespect.
Hey, no
No disrespect.
disrespect, bro. No disrespect. I get it. At this point, bro. Hey, Al Heyman, bring my boy AB back, please.
He gonna have to bring something back. Shit, everybody leaving. He gonna have to fill that roster back up with everybody going. So,
bro, perfect scenario. Perfect scenario.
Yeah. Redemption story. Hopefully, AB's redemption story starts now.
That's a fact.
And him coming back will be a good story.
It'll be a good story, man. And I think, like we said, he can do some damage at 147. Even at 140, if he really wanted to, he can do damage if he can make the weight.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But bro, that's the episode, man. We got some good content out there. We got a lot more followers, man. We where were we? Last time we filmed a couple days ago, we were like at 38. Now we're at 80. So it's a blessing.
That's
we
good.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in. We really appreciate
each and every
it.
one of you are special. Each and every one of you are important.
Absolutely.
It's hard to put yourself out there and make content that other people will enjoy. I mean, we just getting off the ground. This is the ground. It's gonna look a lot better than me in my kitchen doing shit. We'll get there at some point. But yes, appreciate y'all in the beginning of the journey.
For sure, yeah, it's a journey. But it's gonna get great. It's gonna get great. Just give us some time. We'll keep building. We'll keep dropping stuff no matter what. But you will see constant progression every episode. So
and hate on it. Shit. That's how we get better. Let us know where we fucking up.
Hey, what he said. Hate on it.
Simple.
If you hate it, just let us know. We'll switch it up.
Yeah, for sure. Or we'll say fuck you if we don't need to. But yeah, I'll definitely money y'all.
Shut up. Peace, y'all.